Hi, I'm Meenakshi Sharma from Qatar Day, and welcome to yet another episode of Startup of the Month, which is a community outreach program featuring a startup a particular month and their founder's journey. This entire series is powered by 360 Nautica, which is a venture builder that believes in creating a platform for all the passionate entrepreneurs who want to solve the current challenges in the system through technology. They support these startups from the ideation stage to self-sustaining through incubation, funding, mentoring, and providing the necessary operational support. They are also the chapter directors for Startup Grind and partners with Microsoft for Startups. We are in conversation with one such personality, Mr. Al Mansoori, who is the founder and the CEO of Fatura. Good to have you here on this platform.
Thank you very much for inviting me today.
I wanted to know, or rather begin with the question, how did you become an entrepreneur yourself? How was the journey like? Because I know that you started your journey as an Air Force officer. So what was it like?
Well, I have a passion, as always, to have my own business. In 2015, I met my co-founder, Mr. Walid Al-Yafi. We have an idea how to help smaller business and SMEs to work from home. It's called Maktab, which is a mini ERP solution for startups.
Just to give a sense of where Mr. Al Mansoori comes from, he's basically established Maktab, which was his first startup, and now Fatura, which is a part of the fintech industry. Now, fintech industry happens to be a very unique industry because if you've ever made a transaction through your phone, or if you even checked your bank statements on your phone, you are a part of a multi-billion dollar industry, which is the fintech industry. I wanted to know, how did you decide to be a part of this fintech industry, and what are the challenges that you faced?
Well, fintech is very interesting industry and business. During our journey, and we have discovered and realized how complicated it is to enable online payment for our customers. So we wanted to have the solution, a streamlined payment solution between merchant and customers. And we want to have that user experience where the customer, without going to the bank and apply for all the paperwork, he can simply from home activate his account and start accepting payments online. And this is where Fatura started.
As convenient as it might sound, it is not as simple, considering the fact that there are a lot of regulatory players in the market. For instance, in Qatar, let alone, we have the sandbox, and we are establishing the sandbox, right? Because Bahrain has one, UAE has one, and there are a lot of regulations in place. So what are the challenges as a startup that you'd face if you are getting to or wanting to be a part of the fintech industry?
Well, I believe regulation is not an obstacle. It's actually protecting the service provider and the merchant in service between the buyer and the seller. Mm-hmm. So for us, we are being one of the fintech startup joining the fintech hub program. And in that program, help us to understand the regulation, to be under the compliance, and to pass our service to our merchants.
What are the business solutions that you cater to? Which is your market segmented?
Well, Fatura have a variety of service under it. We call ourselves a 360 payment solution. Let's say from the smaller businesses or the micro businesses, we offer an online invoicing solution where they can simply create an invoice to their customers and send it via email, SMS, or even WhatsApp and get paid online. For larger businesses where they have more established daily operation, or they have an online presence, we can offer them a payment gateway connected to their website or mobile app or e-commerce, so they can start accepting payment online. So we actually offer our service for a different variety of business sectors.
Excellent. Just to now get a sense of the competition in the market that already exists, because fintech would only make sense if it's a larger scale operation, right? The numbers make a lot of profit. So quantity over quality, I'd say, but quality is also very important because people are going to be otherwise afraid to venture into fintech. So the idea is that the volume matters. Do you think there is existing competition in the market? Are you single-handedly the only monopoly that is existing in Qatar?
No, not at all. We have different players in the market, starting from banks, payment service providers, and also wallets and fintech. So actually, I don't see them a competition more than utilizing them for educating the market, for to become more digital transformation. For example, back in 2015, we realized that 85% of SMEs that are still accepting payments manually, and with more startup or fintechs or players in the market, it's actually educating them to transfer from manual payment or cash payment to accepting payments online.
So are you going to be just concentrating on this particular country, or are you going to expand to the Middle East, considering the fact that the blockade has been lifted now, so it seems to be a brighter prospect?
Well, we have our strategy to expand in the MENA region, yes, and we are looking for strategic partners as well to provide us, the service in different countries. But at the moment, since Qatar is a well-known country for a growth in the industries, we wanted to expand our service here in Qatar to grow, to capture most of the market, and then moving slowly to other markets.
Are there any challenges in your ambitions that you set out for yourself? Are there any challenges that you're currently facing?
Well, we always facing challenges. This is how startup works. One of the biggest challenges we face since we started is the culture itself. The culture of the market, even the merchant themselves, moving them from accepting payment cash to online payments, that make it difficult to transform. But saying that is, the COVID-19 and the situation itself, it gave us a lesson for everyone, honestly. The customer now insists on a convenient and safe way to pay to the merchant. And this is how now merchants started to convert and to ask for our services and to start accepting payment online.
That's correct. So people are very often more reluctant than accepting of the fact of switching to online technology. Do you think Flatora at large has been able to manage to tackle that problem?
Well, tackling the problem from one perspective, yes. Also, we have different stakeholders in the market that provide the education and provide, the push in the market. Let's say from the government side, Qatar Development Bank, and also Ministry of Telecom and Communication, MOTC. And other, stakeholders are pushing the markets to become more digital. This is a great benefit for everyone in the industry, whether it was a fintech or whether it was service provider or also product providers. And we cannot just push from our side. It has to be a unified objective from everyone.
Were you a part of any incubator programs or accelerator programs? And if so, how was the journey?
Well, we started in 2016 our first accelerator program with Qatar Science and Technology Park. It was a 3-month incentive program, mix of theory and hands-on experience. After graduation, we have joined the incubator program, which is also in QSTB, which we expand our knowledge about the service, understanding the market, forming the team, the incorporation, and a step further in our journey. Later on in 2019, we have been selected out of 16 startups in the MENA to be joining the 500 startup MENA Dojo program, which was held in Kuwait. And it was a growth marketing program which helped us also to grow in our business.
Now, apart from these programs that are available from 2016, are there more options for startups that are emerging out in the industry to sort of take on or apply to?
Correct, yes. So the ecosystem now is more developed than before. Now we have observed private incubation centers are being established, focus on startup and entrepreneurs to help them to grow their business. Also, and this is lifting the weight from the government to private sector. Also, there is more access to funds, and accelerator program and incubation program as well to startups. So as we see now from previous days that we have started, there is more options, there is more support, but it's also more challenging.
That's correct. Now, there are a lot of people who are wanting to be a part of the startup ecosystem. What is your advice to people who are starting out their journeys now that you are so successful, on the path to success as well?
Well, my advice to startup is to focus on their business, to build the right team, to take the business forward. Also, to think
Was
about...
that a challenge for you to build the
Yes,
right team, to get
correct.
the right people together? How did you manage that?
Yes, well, you need to sell the idea from everyone in the organization, and they need to believe in the idea to take it forward with you. Our strategy for hiring is a mix of both. To hire the experienced persons, so they can tell us how things been done in a right way. Also to hire fresh graduates, because you need an energy in the organization and people hunger to learn. At the end, we need team players, and we need also people that are committed to the idea. And this is where we build our startup around it.
So how many people do you currently have in Flatura?
Well, we have more than 15 people working with us from online and offline. And we are also expanding to other areas where we can get a support from different partners.
Excellent. Coming back to the same question, so what is the advice to the new entrepreneurs that you'd like to give?
Well, my advice to the startup is to focus on their business. Also to put a simple strategy where they are now and what they want to be in the future. To build a solid team where they can believe in the idea, and also they don't be ashamed or afraid to be failed, so they can learn from the failure and build on it for a success future.
Excellent. If you had to choose between one of your startups, out of you two, which one would you choose? Which one's your favorite?
Well, actually, I don't call them both separate startups. Maktab was an experience that we have started with, and now we have transitioned to Flatura, which is the fintech startup. So it was a pivot, and if what it's due to the circumstances, due to the market need, we have pivoted. And nowadays we see there is a huge need of a startup requesting to work from home and still manage their business. So maybe it was not the right time, but we see now even a bigger need for an online payment and accepting payments also for the merchants. So it's very difficult to actually choose from both, but it was a transition period as we observe it.
So before I leave you, I'd like to know, what does Maktab mean and what does Flatura mean in Arabic? And why were these names chosen? What is the decision behind it?
Well, Maktab, it's a name as an office, and we selected that name because we wanted to create like an office from home to get the customer awareness. What do we provide?
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Al Mansouri. When fintech emerged in the 21st century, the term largely defined the back-end systems that goes behind great financial institutions. Since then, however, the definition has continuously evolved to become more customer-oriented, and thereby defining the larger interests of the consumer. Now it grasps a lot of sectors and industries, including retail banking, investment banking, education, and non-profit segments, to name a few. I was in conversation with Salil Al Mansouri to get a wholesome understanding of the industry and his startup Flatura. I'm Anakshi Sharma, your host for the day for Qatar Day. Don't forget to share, subscribe to all of us. Thank you.